What's up, friends and fans? Today's video is how to repair a buckled epoxy surfboard. And first of all, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, because I know the pain and the heartbreak caused by buckling your epoxy surfboard. It sucks. I had my dream board, buckled it. I was so depressed, I went out and bought another board. You can watch it in this video here, Surfboard Love Story of me getting my second board. But recently, I rode a wave and buckled the new one. So here's the wave, because it was a pretty epic wave. Here's a screenshot from it. If you can watch the wave now.
Caught a nice right, shot the pier, at least got hung up high on the whatever barnacles. And I got trapped, and when that happened, a wave came and did that. So my precious board is buckled. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need another one. This is my therapy every day, so I'm gonna have to find a solution real fast. But well, having fun. I guess it went out doing what it loved.
First off, let me tell you that this video will be finished because my video is repaired. I just am wet because I got back from surfing on it, and I think that's important. There's a lot of videos of people starting projects and not finishing them. Here's a warning: your garage will be a disaster because it takes so much sanding and dust and work and all that. I did this in 2 days, just kind of pulling all-nighters because, again, I was just desperate to get my board back. But I have it back now, and let's go on a journey so that you can learn what I learned in teaching myself how to do this, save yourself some dough, and speed up the process a little bit. Let's do this. But it's in pretty bad shape, like real bad. Cracked all the way around, so it didn't crack on the top layer. So this is my second Walden that I've buckled. Now my first one had been repaired, and so here's the deal: they are like $1,000 new and about $500 on Craigslist, usually $500 to $600. So you know, I don't want to keep spending a ton of money on these boards. Although seriously, it's my therapy. Like, if you know, this is my lifeline right now. I need it. So I may in fact go get one. I've talked to a lady in Coronado that's got one. But I thought, you know what? Now I've got two broken ones, I might as well try to fix one. Like, even if they're not perfect, I can have them as backup boards. And so got some epoxy resin, and we're going to give it a shot. So here's how I'm going to fix it. We'll find out if this is right or not. YouTube, you know, keyboard warrior people can, you know, correct me or whatever. But I think this will work. Usually pretty good at just figuring stuff out, and I did a lot of research online. So here's what we've got. So this is my Walden Magic Model epoxy surfboard, and you can see I've already taken off all of the wax, and so it's clean as can be. Now, this is where it buckled before. Now that I've actually got the wax off, I can see that the original buckle was here. So when I buckled it, I actually didn't buckle it in the same spot. I buckled it in a new spot, that's good news, because I was reading this, and it's so funny. I read this crazy story online of this guy who repaired his board like 10 different times because he just kept breaking it in different places and doing a good job on those repairs. So that gives me good hope that I could potentially repair this in a way that would last. So we're going to start with this board, and looking at the board, you can see the rocker, like that's the sweep of the board, kind of the curvature on the bottom there. It's real straight. My other one, if I look over there, it actually looks like it's not, like it's settled in the middle there. So this one is going to be a little bit easier to repair. So step one is going to be to draw out where you're going to be cutting, and I'm going to be cutting this diamond shape. The idea there is that you give a little bit more rigidity by going a little bit further out. So what I'm now going to do is take a small Dremel tool with a cutting wheel. It looks like this guy. They sell like a Harbor Freight like rotary tool version of this for like $6 with everything. So I suggest that one, but I'm out of wheels on that, and I happen to have this other one sitting around. So what I'm going to do is just very lightly just cut this top layer, okay? And we're going to peel that all off, so I'll show you that. Probably helps to charge the battery, that's funny, okay. I won't be showing you that. Alright, this is basically a giant Dremel. This is a metal cutoff wheel, but what I'm going to do is be very careful to just go through the fiberglass outer layer and cut around. So I'm going to do my best to be very careful. If it doesn't feel like this is working, I'll stop. Seems like it's working really good. so that you can see that like cork looking layer, that's what I'm trying to get down to. And I was able to go just to that without going through it. I skimmed it over and it was just white, and I kept going until I got brown. So I'm gonna do that all the way around. You can imagine what that would look like. Now, using a crack that I found over here through the actual buckle itself, I'm kind of sliding the screwdriver under there and lifting this layer off. So hopefully that's gonna work. I'll tear it off at the rail here. To the end. There we go. In theory, I can kind of separate this now as one piece. Or well, two pieces. There we go. Ah, cool. It's working. Just going in the high spot of the buckle here, yeah. I feel like this could have worked just as good as the Dremel. It would have been easier. Good. Alright. Now I'm going to do the same thing back the other direction. Just like you would imagine, so toward the camera. Now I can see that this is lifted here. Yeah, you can tell on camera. So what I'm going to do is take the razor knife and we're going to just carve away that so we can't have any high spots, and we'll fill that in as we do our patch. So, looks like we can go. So it starts lifting off about here, comes this way. Shifts toward the nose of the board. This layer is. Yeah, good. It's off. Okay, good. So someone who knows stuff could tell you what this is. I'm not sure. It looks like some kind of matting. But underneath this is, you know, surfboard foam. Like striped foam, basically. Good, so this was all the part that was lifted off, so in the buckle it was buckled like that, and there was air under, oh sorry, the other way. So there was air under there. But you can see how much of it wasn't glued on anymore, so this was the whole section we're trying to do. This matting, you can reuse it, I believe, and so what I'm going to do, because that'll make it an easy, smooth thing off to smooth that out as much, I'm going to sand off the foam that's underneath, then I'll use epoxy resin to glue it back down. So I'm just going to sand off, using, was it 60 grit? Yeah, that should do it. So I'm going to sand off the foam. See how it lays in there. Nice. Yeah, okay, so not a high spot except for maybe right at the seams where it meshes. Dude, this is seriously not my day. Okay, the surfboard repair is going great. While I was working on the board, the camera fell off of the board and seems to have broken, so I'm recording this on my phone now, and I guess I'm out of surfboard and a video camera. Awesome. Anyway, here's where we're at. I brought the repair all the way down to the edge of the bottom there, so all the way around the rail, and I've got my patch of whatever this kind of stuff is. What I'm gonna do, I just wanted to show you real quick, is it sits flat, but only if you get it in there just right. So it's a little tight. So what I'm gonna do is take some scissors and just cut just maybe a 1/4 inch or maybe 1/8 of an inch off each side, probably 1/8 of an inch off each side, just so that it'll lay totally flat. And what I'm hoping that'll do is just take up some space, help it level off without using like a ton of epoxy and filler to fill that up, so it doesn't have just this big heavy spot in the middle of the board. So that is the plan. All right, we're on to the next step. So I've got this cut to where it fits really, really good. What I did was any place it was cracked, I went ahead and cut on both sides with scissors so that just wasn't any, because it wasn't wanting to like mesh up together. I don't want any high spots. So I've kind of laid it in here the way it's going to go. What we're going to do is glue it down with some epoxy and some filler, because we want to fill in spots like this where there's these divots. We want it to get completely flat, and then we're going to lay some glass over it in the next step. But to mix epoxy, you're going to mix, according to the instructions, it's like 1 part hardener to 5 parts, regular. This is West Systems. I really like this stuff because it's super strong and waterproof. It's great for boats. When we had a boat, we used a lot of this. That's why we have giant containers of it. So I'm going to mix it in this half of a can, because if you put it like in the wrong kind of cup, it will melt the cup, because as it catalyzes, it gets like really, really hot. So this also gave me an excuse to drink a soda, which I haven't drank soda in a really long time. So that was kind of nice. And then because they make filler that's like a powder that you mix in, or you can use sawdust. I know it's from my days on the boat. So this is all teak sawdust from back when I used to repair all the teak on our boat. So I'm going to use some sawdust to get it kind of like mushy, sort of mayonnaise texture. I'm going to paint it on underneath here. And then I'm going to use it to fill the spots and push this down and make sure it's like looking nice and smooth, just the way I want it. And hopefully it's going to work, and I will fill you in a second. Just so you can see it, mixed in some sawdust. So just so you can see the consistency, it's about like so. So like more soupy than peanut butter, more like mayonnaise. Go now. Just fill any low spots. Get that down here, and here, so that I've got a smooth surface to glass. Just crack in here. Use my spreader. Yeah, an advantage to that sawdust is it makes it not as runny. So not only does it fill more places, but the thicker you make it, the more it will hold up. Like this is vertical, and I just filled in that gap. If you really want to go like upside down or something, it's got to be more like peanut butter consistency, so you got to keep adding sawdust till it's like thick, thick, thick. Like I said, in this case, more like a mayo. Alright, so I can see that it's hardening, but it still has a little bit of movement if I touch it. So what I'm gonna do is just get some, like, I'm gonna get some wax paper and lay a board on it just so it is nice and smooth, because I don't want to have any high spots I have to sand off or mess with. So just to save myself some work, I'm gonna do that. But it looks like we mixed up about the right amount. There's only a little bit left there. We'll let that harden and then pop it out for the next deal. So step whatever complete. All right, well, good news. It's dry enough to at least touch, and it's just that the wax paper was great. It made it super smooth and it peeled off really clean, which was nice. So this laid down flat. I had a bunch of tools and holding pieces of wood across it and whatnot. So it feels pretty good. There's a couple little high spots, but nothing a little bit of sanding won't fix. And we got a pretty good ridge here, because this is probably maybe 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna feather this edge. So I'm gonna go about 2 inches. I'll probably tape it off, and then I'm gonna hit it with this disc sander. And then the goal is, this guy spins clockwise, so I'm gonna try to angle it so that I'm hitting it here and it's swiping from the fiberglass toward this mat. I don't want to go this way, because it's gonna, like when I'm on this side, I'll tilt it this way so that it's going toward the mat, and when I'm over here, I'll tilt it this way so it goes toward the mat. Because what I don't want to do is catch an edge here and pull it up, because then I have to cut and do a whole other repair. So we don't. That's called delaminating, where this lifts up, and you get a gap there, and then the board will kind of have a soft spot. So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. So none of that, but that's this stuff. Now I'll sand. So be ready for this. A lot of fiberglass dust is gonna happen if you're doing this repair. Anyway, here we go. So sanded, like I said, I taped it and then feathered this, so you can kind of see. Can you see that? Yeah, the glass coming through. So it's like I've went through the top coat, gel coat, and then into the glass, and then faded that down to wood itself. So that's a pretty smooth transition right there. So I did that all the way around, and what we're gonna do is now I'm gonna put a piece of glass down. It's just, what I mean is fiberglass cloth. I got this at Walmart, okay? Put that down with a weight on it so that it just kind of doesn't move, and then I'm gonna cut out a piece that goes basically where all of this mat is. All right, so we're ready to go here. I've got my 2 fiberglass patches. I've got one small one that's gonna go into where the original cut was that I originally did, which is here. And then this one, which goes basically to like 1/4 of an inch in from here. So kind of to where I feathered it out. So my goal is to wet this down with epoxy. Then I'm gonna put this on top. I'm gonna mat it down. I'm gonna put more epoxy on top of it. I'm gonna use a spreader. These are called body filler spreaders. You get a big pack of them at Harbor Freight for like, I don't know, $3 or something. And you're gonna spread that down and basically just pat down the glass till it's clear and you don't really see any bubbles or anything. Make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm gonna wrap it around the rail, and then I'm gonna lay this piece on top, and it's gonna start soaking in. I'm gonna pour more resin on top, and I'm gonna glass it all the way up. So I'm gonna do kind of both of those steps at once, and hopefully it's all gonna turn out really, really good. We'll see. My goal is to get it, if I get all that done, it can cure overnight, and what I'll do is tomorrow sand it smooth, and then I'll do one more coat of just epoxy over the top, and let that cure maybe while I'm at work. So maybe in the morning I could do the next step of just the epoxy layer, and then while I'm at work it can cure, and then when I get off work, maybe I can surf, because then I don't have to take a day off from surfing, because I don't know if my psyche can handle that. So that's the goal. I'm pretty excited. That turned out great. So exactly what I said I was gonna do, and just did the first coat right now, or the first piece of glass. What I'm gonna do now is mix up a little bit more. That was just 3 pumps of each, and it literally like fit right in, and that looks pretty flush. So I'm gonna throw this other one on there, and that'll give me a little more to sand, and I'm feeling like this is gonna be pretty strong in the end, and it's certainly gonna be smooth. I can tell that it's just gonna, like, it's working really good. For something I've never done before, feeling really happy about this, and I've got some ideas for how to paint it and make it look good at the end too. So, well, I'm gonna just throw another batch of glass or resin, and then throw this piece of glass on. Do the exact same thing. What I found is when you put it in pretty thick and you throw the glass on, it kind of soaks through pretty good. So then as you squeegee, you don't have to pour as much on the top as I thought. So I think for the second piece, since it's already got a bed of resin, I'm gonna do just maybe just 2 pumps or something. Whatever. Here we go. All right, good news. This is the end of a very long day, but I've made some significant progress. So where we're at is I've got 2 layers of glass. Like I said, the interior one where it's deepest, and then where I feathered it out, I've got one, and you can see it goes all the way, like kind of up to the edge of where the feather is, but there's about 1/4 inch of just feathered in, not where the tape is, where it's not done. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is that should be hard and catalyzed and dry and ready to sand. And so what I'm going to do is when I wake up in the morning, hit it with the disc sander over here and sand it as smooth as I can. And then I'm going to run one more coat of just the West Systems epoxy on the top. I'll probably retape just one more coat of just glassy, nice, good to go. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'll probably paint it. I guess sand it with some super fine sandpaper, and then hit it with some paint and probably gonna hit it with some wax and try it out tomorrow evening, hopefully before dark, because this boy's got to surf. So I'm really happy. Ultimately, I think I'm gonna get my dream board back. If you guys remember, this was my dream board that I broke and then had to replace back from the Surfboard Love Story video. So anyway, you can watch that here, and this should be about it. I'll see you tomorrow.